ready for liftoff. Live from Laurelwood Golf Course in Eugene. The best guests.
Kelly Graves, Mike Parker, Josh Pate, Melissa Lombardi, Travis Demers, the mayor of Rip City.
Smart, informative talk.
I think Dan Lanning sitting in his office going, you know what, fine, give us the toughest road to win the national championship. That's what it should be.
Teams that have the ability to take a punch in the mouth and move forward. And I think this Beavers team, they've shown that they can do that.
And a few detours.
Sean Penn doesn't look great right now.
A lot of breaking news. I had
to throw the Sean Penn thing in there because it just shocked me.
The long wait is over. The fastest 60 minutes in sports is on the air. It's Danny Havel.
We literally could talk for 3 hours and we would not be able to catch our breath.
Justin Grossweiler.
You stole my line.
Golf, green grass, and a foamy beverage.
All you gotta do is just tap it in.
Danny and Justin starts now. Live from Laurelwood Golf on Fox Sports Eugene and Newport.
Hello, neighbors, and welcome. We are live from the first tee at Laurelwood Golf Course. Welcome in Newport and Eugene. In Newport at 92.7 KNCU, and right here in the Willamette Valley. I'm Danny Havel. Right over there is my tag team partner, Justin Grossreiner. We call him Baby J. What up, boy?
Well, it's great to be here, Danny. It's been in the works for a while, and it's a beautiful day out today. It was some not so nice weather earlier in the day, but here we are.
It was overcast.
It was some scattered clouds now, but it's great.
Nice. And here comes Nick Sams with beverages. I love it.
Beautiful.
Welcome, friends, and live on YouTube as well. We are live at the Laurelwood Golf Course, where we will be for the rest of the summer on Thursdays. So thank you. And for Woody back in the studio. So we got the owner doing yeoman's work, doing your job.
Doing my job.
Which is freaking awesome. So we're going to hopefully have somebody else that can help out with that as we go later through the summer. But look at us on, so you can't see it. You're on radio. But look at us on YouTube. You can see the beautiful first tee and the ninth hole here at Laurelwood. What a picturesque day. The temperatures are perfect. I mean, in upper 70s, lower 80s, it's a little breeze going, absolutely pristine here out at Laurelwood.
You couldn't have picked a better day to have us out here for the first time. You just couldn't have.
So we're going to have Nick Sams on, who's one of the owners out here at Laurelwood. We're going to talk about all of the different things, because it's not just the golf. It is also the restaurant, the pub upstairs. So I was here yesterday we were doing all of our setup. You were here as well. Mm-hmm. We were doing all of our setup and making sure everything was going to work well. And then I just decided, because we had leftovers, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to order some food.
Okay.
So I got my wife the roast beef club. So it's just roast beef sandwich. And I got the Reuben. Oh, my goodness. My wife said it was one of the best sandwiches she ever had. So This is like a 3, 4, 5-star restaurant quality pub upstairs, full taps. Here, if you're looking on YouTube, there we go. Raise a glass to you. I'm going to do it right now.
I got my Dr. Pepper.
You got your Dr. Pepper. I got a Pilsner. So it's not just that. So when the golf season is done, and we're going to talk to Nick, and we're going to talk to the Club Pro, I hope, and maybe one of the restaurant or bar managers to talk about what they do out here at Laurelwood, because it is a family-friendly. Look at now, if you can see it, if we can zoom it, there is a pug on the 9th green right now. They're dog-friendly. You can bring your dogs out here and golf.
I think you can't see that on the YouTube.
Come on
caddy.
Now.
You got a little
That's
dog caddy.
That's pretty awesome. So, again, great radio. But
right.
but
and I'm excited I think I'm excited to try some food, because I'm not adventurous. So it's going to be a little bit of a...
We got a poke bowl coming.
Right. And so, these are things that, I'm going to go for it.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have that here. And we're also going to talk a lot about what goes on at Laurelwood. But, of course, there's a lot of things going on in sports. Another big signing for Oregon on the line. We'll talk about that. We want to talk about, so it's 4th of July tomorrow. We're going to be off tomorrow, and then you're gone. You're on a plane.
Yes.
I'm going to take you to Eugene Airport tomorrow, flyeugene.com. Go ahead and listen to that and log into that, because you can get anywhere from here. And then you're gone all next week, so I'll be solo, but I'm going to have Mims with me for a few days. But we're going to talk about 4th of July. So you're going to be on a plane, but
Right.
but what would you normally grill? What's your protein? What do you go to for the 4th of July weekend, which coming on a Friday is awesome. It's not like we get sucked into it's a Saturday or Sunday, so we don't actually get an extra day or whatever it is.
What was it, a Thursday last year?
I think was it a Thursday last year?
I think so. I think it was a 4-day weekend last year.
Well, for some people it was.
Well,
a lot of people it wasn't.
That's true. You get the one day. I guess.
That brings up
I got a 4-day weekend.
That brings up a whole other thing. Having a holiday like on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Wednesday, and then you got to go back to work the next day.
Not the best.
That blows.
That kind of sucks.
So we'll talk about all of that and talk All-Star game.
We got the starting lineups.
We got the starting lineups for the All-Star game.
I'm really excited about them. Tremendously excited.
Really?
Couldn't be more excited, honestly.
So is this just because of your Cubdom?
Totally, 100%.
Because Javi Baez.
No, I think that there's actually some legitimate complaints. And so this is about Javi Baez. There's some legitimate complaints about, and it's always been like this for the All-Star game, of who actually deserves to be starting. Because there's the fan vote and who's popular, and then who's really playing the best. And so even if we'll get into this, but looking at Javi compared to Byron Buxton, who's having a better season statistically and is just a better player overall. He's playing a little bit more consistently even than Javi. And so there's discrepancies like that where I personally am really excited because Javi Baez is literally my favorite athlete ever, but there also is reason to believe that the All-Star system should be changed. So it's just tough, right? Is it who you want to see the most, or is it the best players?
Okay, so that was my question. Is an All-Star or an All-Pro based on your performance, or who's the most popular?
Well, the problem is that some of these sports, it becomes now incentivized in contracts to be an all-star and stuff like that. So it sucks for those athletes that get kind of put in a bad position that way. But I think that there are certain players that are maybe not the best players, but I think that are so right for those types of games. And Javi is, I think, a perfect example of that, where I think, is a borderline all-star this year, but he is a perfect player for the All-Star game because he brings the excitement no matter what he does, fielding, running, at the plate, and he's just a great story. So I think that's a perfect type of player to put in an All-Star game, somebody that when you envision the broadcast, you can hear them talking about his comeback and educating people on his season so far and just getting a chance to see all the brightest stars. Of course, there's guys like Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge who are going to be the shoo-ins.
Always.
But
yes,
there's other guys that I think that we can be really excited about talking about. Cal Raleigh having a phenomenal season.
From Seattle.
Exactly.
Right. He's bombing it out of the park.
Absolutely.
And he killed the Cubs last time they played.
He's killing everybody.
At Wrigley Field.
100%. I mean, he's killing everyone. It was blowing out that weekend for sure, but it didn't matter for him. He would have hit him out anyways. But I think the All-Star game is great, especially in baseball. I think they still play really hard. We talked about this with my mom the other day, where you can't really go up there and throw like an 89-mile-per-hour fastball.
No,
especially if you're getting your one inning, and I always feel bad for the guys that get their one inning and they have a bad inning, and it's just like, oh man, like
wasted your chance.
Exactly, because you only get one shot potentially.
So what's interesting as well is the managers and the managers' picks. Where are you going, Nick? You going to come back down here in a second? So you got like 10 minutes. Sorry, you got 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes, buddy. We'll get you in the second segment.
Yeah, don't worry.
He's ready to go. It's Nick Sams off mic. He's getting ready. The proprietor here at the Laurelwood Golf Course, as Danny and Justin are on the road here in Eugene, and a beautiful day, a Chamber of Commerce day, as we're talking about the All-Star game.
Where did you get that? You always say that. Where did you get that saying?
So so as the Chamber of Commerce is trying to bring businesses in and people in, it's like the most beautiful day you can think of. That's a Chamber of Commerce day. It's like the best thing you can present is what they want to have.
And that's
out
what
there
the Chamber of Commerce
That's
does?
where Chamber of Commerce comes in.
Okay.
Absolutely. So it's an
your
old
go-to.
thing.
I just had to clarify at some
It's
point.
an old saying. So just be careful if you're going to roll over that, please. If you don't, kick them over. Thank you very much. We got golfers trying to come in and get on the first tee right behind, right over the top of us.
I think you should be good. Yep.
There we go.
There
we go. All right, he's doing a workaround. I love that. There we go.
Appreciate it.
Watch out!
Watch out.
There we go. Got it caught there.
Yep.
The camera was going to fall.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. So
we'll figure out the setup. We'll tune things out a little bit.
We will, just a little bit, as we get going here on it's Thursday already. Are you excited about going back to Chicago?
Of course. Always excited. That's the one place that I've been in my life consistently. I've lived all over the country. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in New York. I've lived in Alaska. I've lived in Oregon, Ohio. And so I always love going back to Chicago. My grandma's and my whole family's from there. And, I just think that everybody needs a place like that where they can go, and I feel like I get refreshed, and I just feel like I'm myself again. I don't know.
So do you have an itinerary, an agenda when you go back there? Are things you want to do when you go back home?
Well,
which is an interesting thing for everyone, is that when you go back home, are there checklists? Are there things that it's like, I got to go do that. I got to go to that restaurant, or I got to go make sure I go to this landmark or something like that? Because for me, it's like when I go back to Chicago, I need to go to Portillo's and I need to go to Pequod's, which is my favorite Italian beef and my favorite pizza place in Chicago. If I don't do anything else, those are the two things I want to go. And, of course, it's obviously food.
Right. And so Portillo's was the number one thing that I was going to say on my list. That's the one thing that I always make sure to get my Italian beef. And I love Portillo's like one would love their son, for instance. And I told you about my great 4th of July tradition that we go there now because we happen to stumble upon, it's on the 3rd of July up in
the fireworks that are there.
Yeah, the fireworks. It was a perfect viewing spot. So it's a special place in my heart, but also in for the 4th of July. My grandmother's birthday is around the 4th of July. It's July 8th. So
how old is she going to be?
97.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. Still living by herself.
And still by herself.
Yep. And so
same house.
Kind of
how long she lived in that house?
Oh, man. Since the
maybe Mama.
60s?
This is maybe more of a question for
60s,
Mama
I
Kay.
think. Yeah, they lived in Oak Park for a little bit, but then they moved to Glencoe. So I couldn't tell you exactly when that was. But, yeah, they've been in that house for a long time. I love that house. It's in a great area.
Do you have your own room? You have to sleep on the sofa?
Yeah. No, I have there's actually a couple of rooms that we could stay in depending on how many people
So I
are
could
there.
go if I wanted.
Yeah, we have a room for you.
All right,
100%.
Beautiful. I love that.
But, maybe going to a Cubs game that's being worked out. Potentially, my family will end up being in town, so that was something to be talked about. But mostly when I'm there, I like to hang out with my grandma. I mean, honestly, she's like another mom to me. I have I've collected a lot of mothers in my life and fathers, if you will. And so she's been the first other mother that I had. I've always been close with her, so it's going to be great. I'm excited.
All right, so let's do some news and notes. Woody, if you're back in the studio, go ahead and fire those up. Thank you very much, my friend. So it's just Justin because I prepared nothing on news and notes. So I will be like Howard Stern when someone else is reading the news. I will just comment on what you do.
Well, it sounds like there's a 7-team trade in the NBA that's about to drop at some point. Yeah, the Kevin Durant trade, it sounds like it's going to turn into like a 7-team trade. So nothing official about that.
Kevin to Houston. Durant to Houston, right?
But it sounds like the Warriors and the Lakers might be involved. A lot of teams. 7-team trade would be the record. So we'll see on that. I have Shams up on my feed.
We can get to that later in the show as well.
We will see. So the biggest ones of the day, the Guardians' Luis Ortiz is being under investigation for gambling for just 2 pitches, Danny. And this is one of those examples of a betting firm flagging a pair of pitches because they had a lot of action on them, essentially. And it's the same thing that is similar to basically the Malik Beasley situation that came out this weekend, where if there's a lot of action on a certain player in a random prop, they're going to look into it. And it seems like there's becoming more and more of a problem every single year with the gambling stuff and players, especially these fringe players, right?
But on a single pitch?
It makes sense, right? Because you're going to do it when basically I saw the 2 pitches, right? And they look like nothing. It basically looks like, he threw it a little outside. And they were very much like they weren't close balls. And so the bet is basically whether he threw a strike or a ball the first pitch of the inning. And so easy enough for him to just pull one a little bit and make it look like he just threw a pitch a little bit differently that time or whatever it was. But if there's going to be a lot of action on it, then they're going to pretty easily be able to tell, hey, I think something funky's going on here. Why are there all of a sudden like 7 or I don't know how many people there actually were doing it. But you know what I'm saying? If there's a significant boost in a certain prop bet, then they're going to look into it. So they're going to look into Luis Ortiz, and he is going to be on non-disciplinary paid leave through July 17th. Jared Dudley is going to be finalizing a deal to be the Nuggets' top assistant. And this is something interesting to me because he's been a guy that has, I think, been gunning for a head coaching spot for a while now. He actually did interview for the Phoenix Suns head coaching vacancy this offseason. That job went to Jordan Ott. So he has been with the Mavs staff since 2021 after a 14-year NBA career. You might remember him. Really solid player, very smart player as well. And I had to bring up this because now that the Mavericks have lost 3 key assistants including Dudley and Sean Sweeney. And I hope you've heard this name before. Shamgod. Are you familiar?
Yes.
Okay, of course.
Yes.
Of course, familiar. Or he's well known for his move, the Shamgod.
Right.
And so I just wanted to mention him in terms of his name. So you've heard him before.
Yeah, I have. And so this assistant joins David Adelman's squad.
Correct. David Adelman, who you always going to say.
Rick Adelman's
Right.
son.
Right.
So
Long time
lot of Oregon ties
Yes.
there, and did a great job at the end of the season.
Like what
And
the Nuggets have done, by the way.
I do, and I think that with Joker and a new head coach and a new invigoration, I think they're on the rise, and the West is incredibly tough versus the East.
And if you think about what Jokic did last season, they pushed the Thunder to Game 7 just as much as the Pacers did. And maybe one or two players away, they swap out Cam Johnson for Michael Porter Jr. I really like that. So I like what the Nuggets are doing, but I wanted to mention Jared Dudley becoming their top assistant now. I think he's going to be a head coach very, very soon. And then I wanted to mention Javier Baez, of course, my favorite player in the entire world, more than any other. And the reason I wanted to bring him up, because I think not only him being in the All-Star game is incredible, but it's also historic, Danny. There's only been 3 players ever that have started in the All-Star game at 3 different positions. I believe he's the only one that's started at shortstop and in the outfield. So those 3 players, pretty good list of names, by the way. Pete Rose, of course, Steve Mims' favorite topic, Harmon Killebrew, and future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols. So those are the 3 players, along with Javier Baez now, who have started at 3 different positions. So he started at 2018 at second base, in 2019 at shortstop. He was the only player ever, by the way, to go from second base one year to shortstop the next year starting. And then now in 2025, huge comeback story. He was awful the last 3 years. It was hard to watch as a fan of his, where he just could not put it together with the bat. This season, he has a 2.2 WAR, 284 batting average, OPS plus in the 118 range. So he's a really solid player. And he's moved to the outfield, Danny. We saw him as a Cubs fan at shortstop, and all of a sudden now he's in center field, robbing home runs. I love this guy so much.
If you want to know our fandom of Javi Baez, take a look at a YouTube video where Javi hits a nubber to the first base. And runs back to home plate, allows a run to score, and then ends up sliding into first safe.
That's all you need. He steals first.
That's right. He basically steals first base. That's all you need to know about how smart this guy is. I think, and I'm trying to remember, he almost turned a triple play on his own in one game.
Yeah, pretty close.
So, so it's well-deserved, and good for him. Having a resurgence in Detroit, which is great, and Detroit deserves all of that. What a
100%.
great sports city overall, and so I would love to see, selfishly, I wouldn't mind a Tigers-Cubs World Series, wouldn't you?
Hey, before the Cubs beat the Indians, the only team they'd ever beaten in the World Series was the Tigers.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's just one of those encyclopedia things off the top of my head.
All right.
Last one.
Yep.
5-star Immanuel Iheanacho is going to commit to Oregon. So
nice.
Of course,
love this.
We'll wait and see about him actually getting to campus, but it's a pretty exciting commit. I think so too. I mean, it's a exciting commitment. He announced this on the Pat McAfee show. 6'7", 350 pounds from the DMV, the Maryland area. So Oregon's now kind of building up a little bit of a pipeline out to that area, and he chose him over Auburn, LSU, Penn State, over some other schools. So
again, is that a Big Ten pipeline now? Or can we say that because Oregon has got the exposure now on the Eastern Seaboard, they're going to try and listen? New York and New Jersey are not a hotbed for football players
but
necessarily.
There has been
basketball,
a decent amount.
Yes.
I have to look in
basketball,
their
yes.
2025 class for
football,
minor,
not necessarily. But still, if you can pluck some of the best, and it's just a 3-star, but a great upside for this young man. So Dan Lanning, another big duck.
Well, he's a 5-star.
Oh, sorry.
Iheanacho? Yeah, he's a 5-star.
Okay. He just went up.
Yeah, he's the fifth. He's a third 5-star now in the class, which, by the way, on 24/7 Sports is up to 10. I was just checking. Is Brandon Finney last year was the recruit that was also from that area.
Okay.
And then Penn State had got a couple of those guys that Oregon was way in on. So we can talk about this. You can talk about this next week with some of the guys you're bringing in for
we got big shows next week.
Three Oregon recruits that are 5-stars now, and Tommy Toffee as well was brought in. I think he's
big
who you're thinking of, who was the guy that was a 3-star, now a 4-star.
Because I'm an idiot, and all these things mold together in my head just like they stir around like in a big
So
pot,
Oregon now top 10 in the class. That's your news and notes.
All right. There you go. Baby J with the big news and notes. Live at Laurelwood here on a Thursday. Weekend Eve. And our last show of the week. We're going to be off tomorrow and then back on Monday. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have Nick Sams, the proprietor of Laurelwood Golf Course. And we're going to talk a little bit about the resurgence of this golf course. What a beautiful setting in the South Hills. When we come back on the Danny and Justin radio program, take a quick break. 92.7 KNCU and in Newport and Eugene from the Bigfoot Beverages Studio live at the Laurelwood. We're not heckling anybody. We're not heckling anybody out here on the first tee, although we probably could here at the Laurelwood Golf Course in Eugene. Thanks for tuning in. Danny and Justin in the wild. And there goes Hagen. Hagen! No, we can't hear Hagen.
Hagen's the dog, by the way.
Yes. Hagen is a dog, and he's got a big voice. Dog-friendly course out here at Laurelwood Golf Course. Danny and Justin on Fox Sports Eugene and Newport. You can listen to us on the coast at 92.7 FM KNCU. So we welcome in as we will flip this over here on the YouTube channel. And there he is in living color. It's Nick Sams joining us, one of the proprietors out here at Laurelwood. So, Nick, when you were a little boy, did you say, I want to grow up and own a golf course?
No, didn't occur to me until I got lucky enough to be part of this place. I walked around with a baseball glove in my bag and in my hand everywhere I went for pretty much my whole life. This is something you move into, right? Once you can't be a basketball player or a baseball player.
And this is it.
This is something you can do with your son. You can do forever. I bring my kid out here. He's 10. He beats me. It's embarrassing. But I'm very proud of him. I mean, I talk trash to him the whole time.
Proudful embarrassment.
Yeah.
So how did this come? So for everybody out there listening, how did this come to be?
I came up one day for an event upstairs, and I loved the area, and we could tell that the view was just stellar, and my wife and I started building a restaurant upstairs. We were fortunate enough to meet Will Benson, who's our business partner. He does everything you see on that other feed and makes this place look like it is. That's his canvas out there that he's painted immaculately.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And as we built that, we just kind of grew together and said, let's just put it all into one. And we've been running ever since. So it's been 10 years now.
So you've got clubs. So I know you have like a Tuesday night, was it men's club?
We don't say men's club.
Okay, it's
we
everybody.
just say it's a golf league.
Golf league.
So it's Tuesday night league. Jacob Henderson runs that for us. He's our head pro around here. He's an absolute stick of a golfer and a great person. He sets a different scenario up. We play a different game, different layout every week, and Cold Fire sponsors that
open
for
to
us.
everybody.
Anybody can come in.
So what time does that start on Tuesdays?
3 o'clock, and it goes till 6 or so.
Okay.
You just sign up, get your tee time, come on out. You can win a $50 gift card to Cold Fire. That's our KP and our long drive get. And then everything else just goes into the pot.
That's very awesome. So what other things do you do to get yourself involved in the community? I know this is the home course for South Eugene High School.
South Eugene comes out and plays a lot. One of our favorite things is the first Saturday of every month we have a neighborhood brunch. So our whole area just comes up, gathers around, everyone talks.
And that's this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday. You guys are hitting all the right spots. I believe, is the 15th a Tuesday?
Yeah.
That will be the 10-year anniversary of the pub opening.
Very nice.
So we're just hitting everything on the head right now.
And it sounds like you were more of a food guy than you were a golfer, though.
Came up through restaurants. Been working in restaurants since I was 15. The Wild Duck. I mean, if you've been around town a long time, the Lucky Noodle, Ring of Fire. That's where I started off. Chili's, Lucky Noodle, Ring of Fire, that kind of thing. Got lucky enough to find this golf thing as I got a little bit older. And once you get into it.
And this is just my opinion. Do you think everyone needs to work in a restaurant at some point? Because I do.
You think so?
I do. I think it's important discipline that people need to learn. I'm not saying
like the military
everybody
service
wants to
in
do
North
it.
Korea, you think everyone in the U.S. should have to go
everybody
work
should work in a
McDonald's
restaurant.
Yeah.
Not McDonald's necessarily, but everybody should go in a restaurant and learn how to stay behind and sharp
service.
and right here. And exactly. I think it's important to do.
It'll change how you treat the people that wait on you for
100%.
sure once you understand what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, because you were the guacamole guy, I remember hearing.
Absolutely, yeah. 80 avocados in the morning.
That's a lot of avocados.
It is. Oh, it's a lot. Yeah. That's like
You're giving him Peter.
That's
he just glazed
eight
over
quarts?
for a second.
I think it's like 20 quarts or 20 avocados for a quart or something like that. So
well, you don't do all that math.
Or
but
10
you
for
just,
a quart. So
you
it's
just
like
glazed over for a second when we start talking about all the avocados. Which you need to make me some guacamole, by the way.
I know we're talking about it.
Okay,
we're
yes,
going to
we
do
are.
it.
Maybe not 80 avocados.
No. We'll do about 5.
Smaller portions. Smaller portions.
We're not bathing in it.
So Nick, what's the goal here? I mean, obviously you got into this, and you've got your wife involved. You got business partners. You're building a beautiful thing, and I'll just say I was out at this course when I used to live in the South Hills, so we can technically call this the South Hills of Eugene, in the South Hills, and it was nothing in a bad way. Unfortunately, it was nothing like it is now. The bunkers are. There's not grass growing out of everything like it was, but seriously, and that's the way it was. We used to call it Laurelweed.
The grass is green now too.
Absolutely. So, what's the goal? What are you trying to get to for this community?
We really are the quintessential Muni, right? Like, we're not just the golf course; it's the community gathering every area. So we have fundraisers whenever we can get involved. If you've got a charity, get a hold of us. We have a blast with that one. One of our favorite ones is coming up in the end of August. Is the Putts for Pups. So you come out and we'll put a bunch of prizes out. We usually team with a different brewery or something on that. Anything you putt the ball into, you win.
Oh.
And every ball you putt costs $5. All of that goes back to Green Hill Humane Society.
I am all in on that.
Anything we can do just to be part of the community. This is an area where, it's a walking path. It's a dog-friendly place. It's a local restaurant. It's a golf course. We're just trying to take care of everyone around us and try to make the most fun possible.
So talk about the restaurant up there, because it's the pride and joy. And I'll just say, I brought the roast beef sandwich. I was up here, and I got the Reuben and the roast beef last night. My wife said it was probably the best roast, and she's pretty picky. Justin knows she's pretty particular. She said it was probably the best roast beef she ever had.
Well, I told you last night I felt like she'd be disappointed when you told her you were bringing food home from a golf course. But once you got there and you brought her the food, she was going to be happy.
She was.
We just happened to be on a golf course. These are restaurant professionals. Ross has been our bar manager for 7 years. Aaron's been a chef for 15. He's been working in restaurants for 25 years. We all came up kind of through the restaurant stuff, and we're learning the golf thing, and that's why Jacob's been such a huge help in having Will around. Fortunately, Ross is also a complete stick, so running the bar and being a great golfer helps.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been the most fun for us, like just getting all this dialed in, and then the growth. From the little Laurelwood you remember to this beautiful place with the amazing views and the incredible staff. Like, it's just been a trip, man.
So talk about, so we're right in the middle. We're literally right in the middle of summer. So this is like the prime time. We're going to be able to play golf probably through, end of October, early November, hopefully into December, depending on the weather. But, it's Oregon. So it's going to get a little dicey after that.
It's Oregon. Be an Oregonian.
Don't be a fair weather golfer.
It's going to rain for 6 months. Go out and do the things.
But what I'm saying is that there is year-round opportunities here at Laurelwood. It's not just about – don't box yourself into just being a golf course.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we hit those times, November, December, we've got a 10-foot HD screen with all of the sports channels in the NFL package. We've got the best brunch in town. The view never stops. If you haven't been in the restaurant and looked out the windows, then you haven't seen the best view in Eugene. Like, this place is gorgeous.
And, by the way, I want to say – the tables upstairs. So talk about the tables, because they are. So it was one thing that caught my eye because I'm a wood guy.
Yep.
So when I saw those tables, talk about what you guys reclaimed.
That has been a ton of fun. So I believe it was 2016 was the ice storm, like the big one that shut us all down forever. Most of the tables upstairs are about a 250-year-old oak. It went down during the ice storm. So instead of just getting rid of that beautiful tree, we milled it up, kilned it out, dried it up, and those are now all our tables. This bar in front of you was the old pine. Remember the pine on 7 that leaned for 100 years?
Forever. Yeah.
It finally got sick, and she became a little bit of a dangerous for the walkers and the golfers. We had to take her down, so not just going to get rid of her. Time to turn her into a bar, and now she's all these stools and this great spot to sit and look over the golf course and have a cocktail or a breakfast.
That's right. Laurelwood Golf Course here on the Danny and Justin radio program, Fox Sports Eugene and Newport, here on a Thursday as we wind into your 4th of July weekend. So any big goings-on here this weekend besides the brunch on Saturday?
Neighborhood brunches on Saturday if you want to make some friends. Sunday's the big brunch. Every Saturday and Sunday we have that brunch menu going. Benedict's, waffles, chilaquiles, anything you can think of. Ross makes an amazing Bloody Mary. And otherwise, it's 4th of July, man. It's just time to come out, play some golf, then go barbecue.
So do we need reservations, or you can just walk in?
You can walk in. Reservations are a good idea, especially for like Friday night during the Friday night smoke show. We've got that big smoker out front.
Yeah.
We've always
by
got.
the way, I can freaking smell it, dude.
Yeah. You know how it is. You roll up to every golf course. It smells like smoked meats and fun, right?
Right.
Just like everywhere else. This is the same stuff that goes on at Augusta.
Very nice. So as we look out over this expanse, so talk about how you've not reimagined, but how you've brought the health back to this golf course and what you guys did to try and dig in and build this back to the lush green thing that we see.
Well, I can give you a little oversight, and one of these days the irrigation system will stop breaking. We'll have Will come over and explain it to you in a little more detail.
That's great.
We were lucky enough to have Dan Hickson come out and help us redesign the last 3 holes on the course. So 7, 8, and 9 have a completely different layout since 2018. That allowed us to take this old green off the back and stop golf balls from flying up here and hitting people who are eating.
Nice.
So that redesign was a blast, and then we've done most of the greens over, new heads, full-on irrigation projects. We've been out here working, and it's made it playable for 9 months a year when it used to be 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So your dear friend Jeff Oliver, our dear friend, the General Jeff Oliver, has reminded me several times here on 9 that you can see off to the left.
But he got an albatross. He does that a lot.
He says every single time I talk about coming up here, he says nobody's going to be able to beat that. So were you there when it happened, though?
I wasn't. I heard about it immediately.
Did he, text you?
Yeah, before he came off the course, he was letting us all know, and then everybody came up. I think he hit it from the other side of the hill. He's got a spot.
So there's for most people.
He's been asking for a statue in that spot there.
Like Craig Stadler has at the reserve,
Exactly.
where he hit the albatross in on the par 5.
Yeah. He wants exactly that same thing, but
I don't know if we can give him that, though. That would be way too big.
It just seems like it'd be in the way. We've already got an aiming rock.
Maybe a little plaque, though.
That could work.
On the ground. We might be able to do that.
If
he can. If
I
he can
told him we'd
figure
bury
out
him
the
there.
spot.
Someday if that's
good
your
compromise.
choice.
Yeah.
So we got any special? So what are the rates for 9 and 18?
You're walking onto the course for $25.
Okay.
That's 9. A cart is going to be $20. It's a beautiful walk. If it's a little sunny and you want to get a cart, that $20 for 2 people, so you can split that. So $35 gets you out here to play 3,000 yards worth of golf. We got 2 par 5s, 4 par 4s. You're going to get your money's worth. It's over 3,000 yards worth of golf.
And again, if you're looking at us on YouTube, and I see there's several people that are on, you can see just the outlay from the 1st and the 9th, 1st tee to the right, 9th green to the left. It's a beautiful expanse, and it's not a tight course. So that's the one thing I also do want to say to folks. It is a very forgiving course, especially for someone who wants to learn and get into golf a little bit. Yep. It's not that like Justin,
like
right
me,
there, like you. It's not a course that's going to get you a lot of trouble.
We'll get you down on the driving range, get you hooked up with Jacob for a couple lessons.
Beautiful.
He'll take you up on the expansive putting greens. You'll be out there striping around hitting par before
I love it.
It's
I'm
a
all
beautiful
in.
place, and it's right in the middle of town. I mean, you can
Easy
get
to
out
find.
here.
Yeah.
Get 9 in, grab a burger, and be back, and your boss won't even know you took a long lunch.
All right, so what's your favorite grilling protein for this weekend for 4th of July?
I will actually be in Harrisburg at my dad's
So you're
rock
going to the
show.
pancake breakfast at the Fireman's Pancake.
I've yet to be there. I've heard it's amazing.
You've got to go to that.
He's playing in the gazebo, Soul Deceptions at like 1 o'clock, I think, on Friday. Just a fun cover band, so I'll be out there with the kid wandering around, grabbing some food out of carts and watching.
So
watching
if
Dad
you
rip.
were grilling at home, what would you be putting on the grill?
It would be
Nick?
un-American to not have dogs and burgers on the 4th of July, right? I mean, you can expand, but those are
traditional.
those got to happen.
Yeah, traditionals. Yeah. I love that. Justin, you got anything else for our boy?
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah,
happy to be here.
Awesome.
This has been. It's not been as long as like a 9-month gestation for birth, but this was quite a while to get it going, and you really stuck with it. And thank you for sticking with us to have us out here. This is going to grow and expand. We love the partnership that you're able to bring to this, and we appreciate your support.
We're excited to have you guys. This is going to be an awesome partnership, and we're going to have a blast through the summer, and I can't wait to see all the stuff we come up with to do.
All right. So
Let's
there you
do
go.
it. All
Nick
right,
Sams, that boy. All right. There he is, one of the proprietors of the Laurelwood Golf Course, Will Benson. We're going to hopefully have him on here in a minute, the superintendent. If not, Justin and I are going to talk about what we're going to do this weekend. Justin's going to hop on a plane. He's going to abandon me. And then as we come back here at Laurelwood Golf Course, there might be an opportunity. If you're out there listening right now and you want to come on board, I've got a 3:50 tee time with my good buddy Jeremy. If you want to join us, if you got a twosome that you want to join, you can go play golf with me this afternoon. How about that? 9 holes. I encourage that. I will pay for your 9 holes, you and a guest. And I'll just say, if you want to call up right now and secure it, you call Woody at the studio on the Oregon Man Clinics hotline at 541-343-5673. The first one that calls in, you give us the name, Woody will send it to us. We'll get you locked in. 3:50 tee time out here at Laurelwood Golf Course. We'll come back and finish off the program here on a Thursday. Fox Sports Eugene and Newport. All right, last segment here on the Danny and Justin Radio Extravaganza, live from the Laurelwood Golf Course in beautiful Eugene, Oregon, and broadcasting live in Eugene and Newport on 92.7 KNCU. The Bald-Faced Truth coming up next as we're off tomorrow. You're Correct. On a plane tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I'll be on a plane when it's our regular showtime, yeah.
So where are you flying from? Eugene to where?
Dallas, I believe. I think so.
What airline are you on?
Oh, Alaska, I think. I don't know. I didn't buy my tickets.
You don't know what airline you're on?
No.
So I'm taking you to the.
I didn't know what to talk about on the air.
I'm taking you to the airport tomorrow, and you have no.
I couldn't tell you exactly what time my flight is. Even
it's not like you're a minor and they need to walk you to the plane. But
no.
Okay, all right, that's fine. We'll get you on the plane tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll get there. Promise.
And then you're off all next week. So I'm going to be on the air on my own for a couple of days. So it'll be just Danny instead of just Justin next week for a couple of days.
Doesn't have quite as much alliteration to it.
No, it has zero alliteration to it. But I'm going to have Goose with me for a couple of days. So Goose will be with me Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday next week.
And you guys, how many shows have you guys done together? Like 1 or 2? We had one at prime time.
But without you, we have had 0.
That's what I was thinking.
I've never done a show without you except with Woody. That was it.
That's right. Yeah, I'm excited to listen in.
You're not going to listen in.
I'll try to. I like to listen in a little bit when I'm gone.
Okay. All right.
It'll be fun.
Again, thanks to all the great people out here at Laurelwood. This is going to be a regular thing throughout the rest of the summer. And we're going to do it at least once a month throughout the rest of the year. So September, October, November, December, all of it. Maybe, I'm just thinking out loud, maybe we need to have our anniversary show here. Our 1-year anniversary show, and maybe I can convince Steve to extend our show for a little bit, and we have a big party out here.
I couldn't tell you what day of the week or what day our show was. We can figure this out.
So you don't know what day we started?
I could tell you that it was the week that the Ducks played the Beavers, but I couldn't tell you what day it was.
Okay, so I think it was a Tuesday.
I think it was too, because we were going to do Monday, and then we ended up doing Tuesday.
It was always me. It's always me that messes those things up.
But it was the game formerly known as the Civil War.
But we're going to have that coming up again, at least one more year of the Civil War, right?
Yes, and then we'll see what happens.
High school football is getting ready to kick into gear with the I guess you would call it summer practices. Kids will start getting together beginning of August, just a little bit a month away.
And I'm going to try to get out there because, we're doing Friday Night Live, and I want to be up to date with all these different teams, and I think that's the way to do it, get in there in the summer.
So Tony Cumberland, who is going to be at Willamette High School his senior year as an Oregon commit. He moved up here to want to be closer. That'll be interesting to watch, all of it. So you and Brian Beban on Friday nights for Friday Night Live, sponsored by Jerry's and others. That's coming up in the fall, but we still got a little bit that's going on here.
It's still summer, right?
It is. So if nobody's already called in, I'll call out one more time. I have a 3:50 tee time. I don't have my phone in front of me, so if Woody texted me, if you want to call in right now at 541, the Oregon Man Clinic's hotline at 541-343-5673. I've got a twosome available. We're going to pick up the tab at just 9 holes, so you can be done by 6 o'clock. 9 holes here at Laurelwood Golf Course. You, your friend, me, and my buddy Jeremy will play a foursome. We'll have a little golf fun out here at Laurelwood. We're not going to put any money on it or anything like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And you're getting better at golf.
Well,
you're
I wouldn't
learning,
say that. I mean, I think I can't even say that because I did golf recently once, so I can't even sit there and say from the first time to the second time because there hasn't been a second time yet.
So, and our good friends at the Back Nine. By the way, there's some reduced entry fees for the Back Nine if you want to do that at the Sheldon Plaza right there by Safeway. Our good friends Travis and Katie have opened up the Back Nine. We had a big grand opening last weekend. The executive memberships, the founding memberships, that deal has gone away, but there are reduced rates right now if you want to take advantage of it through the weekend and test out the Back Nine. Great simulator for golfers and the kids, the family, it's everything. So you can not just play golf, you can kick the soccer ball around. There's plenty of games that are not golf-centric. So bring the entire family down there. They've got a conference room. There's free snacks. It's all access 24/7. So if you want to go out and hit the simulator at 1 a.m., you can do it at the Back Nine in the Sheldon Plaza down there on Coburg Road, right next to Safeway. So as we wind down the program, as we get into the weekend, so the grilling is a big thing for me. You've been out with me before. So I guess we're gonna have. Well, I think Will's coming down or something. So we're gonna have that coming up this weekend. So what is your favorite protein? To throw on the grill? Definitely burgers. I'm definitely a burgers guy. And contrary to Nick's opinion about having hot dogs, we usually don't do hot dogs. I'm not the biggest hot dog person, but we usually do burgers and some grilled chicken. I love to grill some chicken, Danny. A nice little charcoal flavor on the chicken. The hardest thing with chicken, though, is to get it done all the way.
Get it done all the way, but not overdo it.
So unfortunately, my dad, God rest his soul. Hi, kiddo. He would make the outside of the chicken like charcoal. It would be like an ash, and the inside still wouldn't be done.
Well,
so we always made fun of my dad, and my mom's probably laughing right now listening to this. Is that we never wanted him to make chicken, ever, but he always wanted to.
I do too.
Yeah,
I can appreciate it.
It's a talent, young man. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Long day, but we're going.
Yeah.
All right.
So, welcome to the Danny and Justin radio program.
Thank you very much.
So let's talk about this beautiful course that has been reimagined in some ways.
Yep.
So talk about the work and what's happened over the last couple of years here at Laurelwood.
Yeah, so I think 6 years ago we started the reroute. So we changed the way 7, 8, and 9 play because the green used to be right there for 9. So we moved it down there, which enabled us to open this whole thing up for this outdoor dining and the patio looks. And then we put the creek that used to be piped underground on 6. We dug that out. We brought the original creek back. So it doesn't run in the summer, but the rest, in the winter, spring, fall, you'll see some water running through all that. And then we've rebuilt every green except for number 2. And we put all new irrigation, kind of modern irrigation on all the greens. So each head is individual controlled by wires. We kind of control the moisture in those areas a lot better.
Will Benson.
Yes.
The superintendent here at Laurelwood, joining us on the Danny and Justin radio program as we wind up here on a Thursday, our last show of the week, and we'll be out here every single Thursday throughout the rest of the summer here on Fox Sports Eugene and Newport. So as you started to take a look at what you could do with this course, what was the first thing you wanted to attack?
Well, the biggest thing is we wanted to not have this be the 9th green. We wanted this whole area to wake up.
Right.
And then it was
right around the clubhouse.
Yes,
yeah.
Because it used to be netting and plexiglass, and there was no view. Like nobody came here and was like, oh, I can't wait to see the view. The tree was in the way, the net, the plexiglass. So that's kind of what started it. And then it was like trying to figure out how to do it. Originally, we thought about making a par 3 down there. And then I kind of found the old tee box in the woods on number 7. So I bought.
What, do you just like kind of walk around and just kind of stumble on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I had some friends years ago that walked the back property with the old maps, and they found the old holes, and so I kind of figured, well, that number 7, this is where it should be. So I brought Ken Waffer from the city out, and he looked at the view. He was like, "Oh my God, this is like the signature hole. We got to do this." So then it was a matter of trying to figure out like hole 8 and hole 9. So originally 8 was going to stay a par 4 or par 5. But to build the tee boxes was just going to be brutal. And so we just kind of was up in that area. And then I was like, oh, this is where number 8 should be. So now you leave 7 green rather than walk back into the hole almost for old 8. You just walk off the green to the 8 tees. And so then I was talking to the golf course architect who helped us build later the 8th green and the 9th green and some tees. And he was like, so we kind of went all the way around, and this is the layout we ended up with, and this was the new greens.
So go ahead. We can bring the food in. So we got we've got
now we got lunch.
Yeah, we got lunch. We got tacos, and we've got poke.
Right,
oh my gosh, the poke bowl coming in front of us. So if you're on YouTube, chicken tacos and the poke bowl. Look at this. If you're looking on YouTube, look at that.
That is very colorful.
That is amazing. So, you know what? You can have the poke bowl first.
Okay.
Because I'm going to dig into one of these tacos.
All right.
We got Will Benson here, the superintendent. So, one thing as a golfer is playing a 9-hole course might have that whole thing of, it's just a 9-hole.
Yep.
So, tell me how you've been able to move those tee boxes a bit so you can play 9, but you can play 18, and it looks a little bit different, and what that challenge was.
Well, I mean, we didn't spend a ton of time worried about that.
Okay.
I mean, I mostly focused on just like the best 9 holes we could get and interesting green complexes that had lots of different areas. Because before, like, you couldn't move the cups on 3. You couldn't move the cups on 4. It was just
okay.
So rebuilding, getting putting areas. But, I mean, obviously you could move between the whites and the blues and be 30 to 60 yards apart on almost every hole.
Right.
So you could have a shorter 9, then a longer 9. I mean, you could mix it up. But the main thing for me was just that kind of classic golf course architecture where the greens had character. You get every green, you're like, oh, God, is this slope and that, and then pinnable, so it's always different.
All right, so do you place the pins, or you have somebody else doing that? Are you the guy that does that?
If I get someone new changing cups, I'll go put the white marks out, and then they know where to put the cups. But generally, after you've been with me a while, you kind of know.
Okay.
We use like a star pattern. So you start over here, you go over here.
Okay, so it's not if you got angry that last night or if the wife kicked you on the couch or whatever, you got angry and you put the Sunday pins?
Not me so much, but the employees after like a month when they get comfortable, then that's when they start like, you got to call them, you're like, all right, Max, we are not putting every pin back left, behind the bunker, back right, like 4 easy, 2 hard, 2 medium, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Will, thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful course, man.
Hey, you guys
Great
enjoy your
job.
lunch.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you
very much. It's Will Benson, one of the owners and the superintendent out here. Let's do dad joke.
Oh, a joke!
I got fired from the bank today. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her.
Dad jokes.
All right, Justin, so what do you call a cow with 3 legs?
Oh, I don't know.
Lean beef.
Wow, that's kind of morbid. It's a little. Oh no. Okay, I get it.
A little lean beef.
A little morbid.
All right, we're off tomorrow, and thanks for joining us here on the Danny and Justin radio program live from Laurelwood. We'll be back on Monday without Justin. It's going to be me, and it's going to be Zach Neal. Going to join myself on the radio program live from the Bigfoot Beverages studio in Newport and Eugene. We're live out here at Laurelwood. What a glorious day. Have a great 4th of July. Put a smile on your face, someone else's. They deserve it, so do you. God bless. Baby J, have a safe trip back to Chicago.
See you later.
Talk to you soon. Peace.